Welcome back to our second episode of Classic City Talks with Classic City Locks. I'm Wes.
I'm Mike.
And hopefully you saw our first episode. Ran a bit long, a little bit less entertaining, but this one should be a lot more entertaining, a little bit more on the cuff. So
yeah.
What we're going to do here for you today, we're going to go through the top 25 matchups, and we're going to give you each our picks against the spread. We're looking at it here. We got a couple teams that no spreads for that games yet, so we're just going to skip over theirs, maybe give you a few comments about it. But other than that, you want to just get right into it?
Yeah, like Wes said, we're going to be looking at the top 25 teams, who they're playing. So, we'll see. We got a couple fun matchups here we talked about in passing. And then we have a bunch. It's like, how badly will this team get smacked by this Power 5 opponent? So, you know what? I'll just start us off with first one we got on here: Oklahoma State, number 12, versus Central Michigan in Stillwater. They are 21.5-point favorites.
Stillwater is Oklahoma State's home territory. For those of you who don't know.
Y'all know from the last episode, we really like Oklahoma State. Central Michigan. I mean, I'm not exactly an expert on their football program. I do know. I think I'll let Wes share this piece of information that he learned about them.
Yeah.
I will take Oklahoma State to cover 21.5, but I think Wes has a lot to say about this one.
Did you know their last matchup in 2016 or 2017? I can't remember. Central Michigan actually won on the last play of the game. Oklahoma State still disputes the result, but it's kind of, look it up. Look up the footage if you haven't seen the play.
It was like
it's
a crazy
play.
Yeah.
Guy laterals it to another receiver. But anyways, Central Michigan. Also, their mascot is the Chippewas. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. All these reasons and more. They're actually ranked FPI higher than Kent State, who Georgia plays later in the year. They're ranked FPI higher than a bunch of other teams. Look into them. Really interesting school, and I'm still going to go with Oklahoma State to cover 21.5 against Central Michigan this Thursday, actually.
Yes.
It's a Thursday.
A matchup we'll be watching for sure.
Next big matchup, we're really excited about
this
one. Thursday game, West Virginia at Pitt. So Pitt is number 17 on the AP poll. Coming in, we got the spread looking at -6.5 in favor of Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
So, I keep looking at reasons not to pick West Virginia in this game. I really want to pick them. I've been looking at it. I haven't seen anything that's discouraged me enough to not pick the Mountaineers in this one. I'm going with West Virginia to cover 6.5.
Why?
Or to win with 6.5 points.
So you're taking West Virginia plus 6.5?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Why?
Oh, man. I mean, they got JT Daniels. I'm really excited to see what he does this year. I think he's going to air it out against them. Pitt, they've got a lot of unknowns about them still.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're actually going to end up ranked as high as 17 as the season unwinds. I think that West Virginia is going to be a sleepy upset team this year. I think they go into a lot of places and they could really cause some damage. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm in a similar situation. I want to pick them here. It's just a very enticing line, but I would say the same argument for West Virginia. Like, we don't really know how JT is going to fit into there.
That's fair.
I like him. I think he's a good quarterback, but this is in Pittsburgh. They got to win by 1 touchdown. I think that this, like we talked about last time, this is a Pitt team that while they lost Kenny Pickett, they're retaining a bunch of guys. So I'm going to take it, if the line was -7.5, maybe I'd pick West Virginia, but I think that they can win by a touchdown. So I'll stick with Pitt on this one.
All right. Already a little dissension there, but that's okay. Hopefully we don't have all the same picks, otherwise this show would be a little boring. But next up we got Virginia Military against Wake Forest, number 22. That we do not have a spread for, so we're actually not going to cover that game. But I like Wake Forest, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say,
unless the spread's absurd, I don't
think anyone's going to be too upset about not getting into that one.
Yeah.
Although, no Sam Hartman.
That is true. That's a great point. Watch out for that if you're picking Wake Forest.
I would also like to address that in that hindsight is 2020, but if I knew when we recorded that first video that Wake Forest did not have Sam Hartman, I would not have put them at, like, I think I had him at, like, 13 or 14.
What had happened was he recorded that and then the news broke, and we had to re-record because of some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
And I didn't let him switch it. So.
I said to Wesley right now, I was like, "You think can I change it?" He was like, "It's too late, man. Like, you just gotta keep it."
No
well.
mercy. So that explains that pick on his list, I guess. But might have to do one of those for my picks later in the show. But next game up, Western Michigan at Michigan State, number 15. Michigan State is favored by minus 20.5. So I think we've kind of expressed our opinions about the Spartans, and
we love them.
20, we do love them. I think that 20.5 is not outrageous at all.
Mm-mm.
I'm going Michigan State Spartans in this one to cover.
Yeah, same here. Again, maybe similar to the West Virginia Pitt if it was 21.5, maybe, but I think that this is a very fun Spartans team. They got a great quarterback in Peyton Thorne. I think that they could totally win by 3 touchdowns in East Lansing. This is a fan base that they had a great season. They are ready to prove themselves.
Yeah, they're looking to blow somebody
out. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
just absolutely mop the floor with Western Michigan.
I hope that comes to fruition, and if it doesn't, come back to that clip and a blooper and be
in a future episode, maybe I'll put a clip like right up here of just an absolute bomb down the field as they go up by like 40.
But we're going with Michigan State on that one. Next game up.
All right, I'll take this next one. Colorado State versus Michigan, number 8 in Ann Arbor. 27.5 Michigan is favored by. So they got to win by 4 scores, it looks like.
Yep. That's a lot.
That is a lot. And they this is kind of not relevant to this game, but I thought I'd mention it anyway. If you didn't know what Michigan has done, even though Cade McNamara was their quarterback for pretty much the whole season, they are actually starting him week 1 this game, and then they're starting J.D. McCarthy week 2, which I thought was interesting. You know,
weird strategy.
J.D. McCarthy is on paper a really good quarterback, but I'm pretty sure he blew the game to Michigan State last year.
Oh.
So you got some questions there. Is Cade going to be their quarterback the whole time? I think that without Aiden Hutchinson and some of those other big guys that led them to the playoffs, I think that Michigan will win. I don't know if they're winning by 28. We'll see. I feel like I could be totally wrong here, but I'm going to take Colorado State plus 27.5.
Okay. I mean, you know that I'm really high on Michigan. I ranked them number 5 in my preseason poll. Oh,
right
man.
in between us. I took them at 10. AP took them at 8.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I guess I was a tiny bit too high on them, but I like Michigan. I think that 28 is not undoable for them, so I'm going with Michigan in that one.
All right.
Next up, NC State 13 at East Carolina.
Fun.
NC State
matchup.
favored by 10.5. I'm looking at that spread, and I'm like, there's got to be some unknown factor that didn't come up in the research on this one.
That's what I'm thinking.
What's going on here? 10.5 for the number 13 team in the country?
The team that's returning their offense that beat Clemson. They had a great. How many wins did they have? They had like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's disrespectful. I mean, what is it? Just because they're playing at ECU?
I have no idea. Eastern Carolina, I think, has like upset some people in the past, but I don't think it's anything outrageous enough that warrants NC State not winning by 11. Mm-hmm. So I'm going NC State on this one. I don't see any reason not to.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I'm with you as well. I would take that line all day. Are you kidding me? I pulled up just a couple games from last year. They beat UNC. They
what was
lost
the score? Let's get
34-30. They lost to Wake Forest 45-42 behind that awesome Wake Forest offense. They beat Louisville 28-13. They beat Florida State 28-14. They killed Syracuse 41-17.
Okay.
You know, like these are Power 5 teams.
But see, that's the first game that they've had that they would have covered this spread, which I know they're not East Carolina, but still.
Yeah, I understand, but
might not be a scoring powerhouse here at NC State, but
this is an offense that has worked together. They're returning so many guys.
Devin Leary, man. I mean, I would trust him to score 14 points on his own if he needed to.
I mean, they beat Clemson by 6 in overtime, which was an amazing game.
I'm sticking with NC State.
Me too. Yeah, we don't need to go into too much about them, but
all right, you got next game.
I don't want that to come back and bite us, but we'll see.
It probably will, as most things do in this world.
All right, up after that, we have Texas A&M versus Sam Houston State. Texas A&M ranked number 6 by the AP. I don't want to hear any more slander. This is a great team.
Wait. Just wait.
There is no line, and there's also not a line for the Miami game. They're playing Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah. I'm not going to divulge on Texas A&M right now. They will not be 6 come the end of the year. Well, I'm not.
You had them at 14. That is way too low.
It's low, but it's not. I don't know why they're at 6. That's just.
Moving on. Go ahead. Who do we got next?
Next up is probably the most exciting game of the week.
Underrated game.
We got Cincinnati, number 23, at Arkansas, number 19 in the country. Arkansas favored by 7.5 on our lines here. In Fayetteville, so Razorbacks get the home field advantage. They got Sam Pittman. They got quarterback returning. New running back this year, I'm pretty sure. No, new wide receiver.
Yeah.
Treylon Burks is gone. But, man.
And this is a Cincinnati team that does not have Desmond Ridder anymore. But
Yeah.
a lot of people still really like them. Obviously,
I like
they're
them.
ranked. Yeah, I know you did.
I think I'm still going to go with the Hogs on this one. I said the, what was it? Whooping Suey last time.
Whooping Suey.
But I'm staying with Sam Pittman and the Hogs on that one.
Yeah, I am as well. I mean, 7.5. It's not big enough when you're playing in Fayetteville. This is another team that has they were like the Vandy of the West.
Yeah.
And they just have come back from the grave, and they're a fun team to watch. I mean, they got a good coach, Sam Pittman. Good team. I mean, they put together a decent record last year. I think they were a little overhyped at some points during the season, but this without Desmond Ridder, I think that Cincinnati will be good, but I don't think they'll be anywhere near where they were last year. So
Yeah.
I think that Arkansas will cover this pretty easily.
They beat Texas A&M last year. Arkansas did.
Yeah.
So, another knock on your Aggies there. But I am sorry. I don't know why I'm so hard on the Aggies. I like Texas A&M. But
They let us down in terms of they underperform a lot, but they're back. This is the
their
year. This is the year.
much like it was Georgia's year last year.
Yes.
This might be Texas A&M's year. But all right, next up, we got Houston, number 24, coming in and playing at UTSA. So
The Roadrunners.
yeah, it's Texas, San Antonio. Line we got here is plus 5.5. So Houston losing 5.5 points. I'm still going with the Cougars.
I think that's UTSA's line because.
Yeah. Houston is
Okay, gotcha.
has to win by 6. So
Yeah.
I'm going with the Cats there.
Yeah, I will also take them. I think that they can win by.
Oh, it's the Cougars. Sorry, not
Yeah.
the Cats.
I understood what you meant.
It's also a cat.
Yeah, close enough. I'm going with them as well. I mean, UTSA was another team that up until I first looked at this, I forgot they had a really good season last
Yeah,
year. I
they
mean,
did.
again, they weren't playing the best opponents. I think Wes said they lost in their conference championship game or somewhere later in the season.
They were ranked last
they
year.
were ranked. They were hovering at the bottom of the AP poll. So I will take Houston as well. I mean, they can win by a score.
Yeah, for sure. Next,
All right.
Next game.
Fun matchup here, yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right, next one we have Georgia at number 3 versus number 11 Oregon, who Wes hit the nail on the head ranking them last time.
Yeah.
This is at a neutral site in Atlanta. Yeah, you use that term lightly. And Georgia,
How far away is Atlanta from Oregon and Atlanta from Athens? I mean,
not even close.
Neutral
do the
site
Ducks
game, though.
travel? We will find out when we see.
I bet they do.
Some of them.
Maybe not as many Georgia fans, as Georgia fans there, but I
Yeah.
bet there'll be a good hand of Oregon fans.
So Georgia's favored by 17.5. I mean, if you watch the first episode, you know Wes and I feel very differently. We both ranked Oregon, but I ranked them at 22.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you go ahead with this one.
So this is a game that I think when the line first came out, it was at like 14 and a half. And even then I said Oregon. Because I think this team is going to be kind of, creep up on Georgia a little bit. Dan Lanning knows the Georgia defense in and out, so they got to change up some things to throw him some unexpected things. Bo Nix has played against them a lot.
I don't even know if he's starting for them, though.
He is. I bet he is. He also apparently got married. Maybe. Fact check that one, but he's having a lot of fun. So I'm thinking that Oregon is going to be. I mean, I was high on them before. I don't see why not to be high on them now. They get 18. Georgia's got to win by 18. I think that Oregon could make it like a 16-point game. I'm going with the Ducks on my picks here.
Oregon's starting quarterback, question mark. Lanning's lips are sealed.
Yeah, but I
Haven't
mean,
named the starter yet.
it was the same thing with Northwestern, but everybody knew it was going to be Helinski.
Okay. Well, I don't know. If it were 14.5, Wes said he still didn't know. I would take Georgia there. 17.5 is tough, but I said it last time. I think that Georgia's offense will be better this year. Their defense, I think that it's, obviously lost a bunch of really good guys, but good recruits and stuff. This is not a neutral site. I think that this is as Kirby Smart said, they're not complacent with just one championship. And this is an Oregon team that I think that they have a bright future. And yes, that is very fair. Dan Lanning knows this defense, inside and out. But I think that I still have to take Georgia at 17.5. If that line moves higher, absolutely not. But that is the cutoff. I will take them. I think that offense is good enough to get over the hump.
And remember, too, not to knock Kirby Smart, but he's got a little bit of a questionable record in Atlanta.
I know.
They've beaten Cincinnati and Auburn. I think they're only 2 wins.
And Cincinnati was a nail-biter.
Yeah, it was a last-second field goal, I believe. Well,
it'll be fun.
On.
It'll be fun.
It'll be a fun game. Next up, we got UTEP at Oklahoma, number 9, and Oklahoma is favored by 32.5.
How badly will they smash UTEP?
I'm not going to talk too much about this one. I think that Oklahoma will cover this pretty easily. I think this will be one of those cupcake games that I don't know, they could get into some trouble, but I'm not betting on it.
It's a question of how badly UTEP will lose. I'll take them as well. I think that Oklahoma, it's interesting how the narrative has developed on them. At first everyone was like, you would have thought that the world was falling apart.
Yeah.
Everything was just over for Oklahoma in the span of like 3 days. And then it's like, oh wait, the world hasn't ended. We're going to be okay.
You wouldn't expect them to be the number 9 team going in.
They look pretty good. I think that they'll smash them. Yeah, we'll see. But
I think I also had them at number 9. I don't remember. Maybe 10.
I think you did, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, no, I'll take them at 32.5.
All right, next game. We got BYU, the 25th team, who I did nail. Not to pat myself on the back, but I will do that there. Against South Florida in South Florida. BYU only favored by 12.5.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting spread here as well. Kind of think it's similar to the NC State game. I don't know. I'm taking BYU here. 12. They got to win by about 2 touchdowns, but South Florida, not the best football team in my opinion. I honestly not an expert on them. Mike was saying
I'm
before
pulling
the
up the
show,
FPI to at least see.
They're like in the low 90s to hundreds. So
I feel like BYU isn't bad in terms of FPI.
No. I'm taking BYU here.
Yeah, let me see. BYU they are ranked. Let's see. I think they're ranked 46, and they're playing
Florida.
South Florida. They're ranked 89th.
Oh, okay, so a little bit better than
I'm taking BYU as well. I don't really know enough about them, but I think that this will be easy for them.
Yeah.
A kind of an interesting place to start the season for them.
That is true, yeah. But BYU, not in a conference, they kind of got to go.
Are they independent?
Schedule. Yeah, they're an independent. Moving on, next game, Troy at Ole Miss. Ole Miss, 21th ranked team in the country, 21st. Ole Miss is giving up 22.5 points, so they got to win by 23. It's in Oxford. Man, we love Zach Evans, if you didn't learn anything from the first show. I'm going with the Rebels in this one. I don't think it'll be that close.
Nah, I think that this is a pretty good Ole Miss team. I really liked Matt Corral last season. Who do they have now? Jackson Dart?
Yep.
Him and Zach Evans, that's 7.1, 7.5 yards a carry at TCU,
Man,
that's just insane.
I'm smashing his overs, too, on Prize Picks, perhaps.
Yeah. So I'll definitely take them as well. I don't really know I don't really think Troy is a sleeper team or anything in Oxford. Rowdy, hyped fan base, as always.
And not an outrageous spread either.
No,
22.5 is not like the 30.5.
I was going to say, if it were like the Oklahoma one, maybe not, but I'll take 22.5. This next one, though.
Yeah, we got Rice at USC, the 14th ranked team in the country. USC has to win by 35. We got the line at 34.5.
That's crazy. But
That's crazy, but I'll still take USC.
I'll still take USC.
Man, I think that Lincoln Riley's going to put on a show in his first
Yeah.
game. The off-season hype around him has been crazy. I'm taking USC. Nothing else. to say.
I'm surprised. I thought that, with how badly you talked about them last time.
Yeah, but I mean, not playing a tough opponent. We'll see against their first Pac-12 opponent.
It's because they're trotting Rice out to
How much
beat
are they
him
paying
down.
Rice? I want to
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
But all right.
Yeah, we'll take USC there.
So we don't have lines, unfortunately, for the Albany-Baylor game or the Illinois State at Wisconsin game. It's apparently too early in the week, but
How
so
badly will they lose?
not going to talk about those games. However, we're moving on to Miami of Ohio at Kentucky, number 20. Kentucky favored by 19.5. So I'm taking the Wildcats here in Lexington. I don't think Miami. Well, 3 scores is a lot, but I think that the Wildcats are going to be hot to trot this season.
Yeah, I'll take them as well. It's I don't know, man. I think Will Levis is a good quarterback. They should be good enough to win by 20.
21.
Yeah. Well, the line's 19.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
19 and a half. So I'll take them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that this is a Kentucky team that has they've been on the cusp of the East for a while. Yeah, I think that they'll win their opener easily by 20.
This next game, though, a lot of excitement here. Utah at Florida. Utah number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Mike was pretty high on them. I less so. Florida gets 2.5 points. So Utah goes in. They got to win by 3 to cover this one.
Yeah, I definitely have a lot to say about this. This is definitely the matchup that I think is the most interesting in terms of the spread, because just think about how much the narratives have shifted. We were talking about Florida, about how bad they are, and how this is going to be a horrible season for them.
Well, I didn't say that.
No.
but-
Everybody was talking about how, Florida's falling apart. This is the end. They fired Dan Mullen. It's just everything. Well, this is good. They needed to get
Yeah,
away
they're
from him.
rebuilding now, finally.
Yes, I think it's a necessary pain they have to go through. All of a sudden, people are coming into saying, like, don't sleep on Florida. This is a good team. I think that they're going to be a decent SEC team, but this is a Utah team that I think is very good.
Yeah.
I know playing in the Swamp is very hard. Definitely one of the hardest environments in college football.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still taking Utah minus 2.5. I think that's a great team. They got a lot going for them. Beaten Oregon 2 times. They got put together some quality wins. Almost beat Ohio State. I don't see why they can't beat a Florida team that is unranked. I think that people are just wanting to get hyped up about them for I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, Utah's got, I think one of the oldest head coaches. He's been there for like the second or most amount of time, longest tenured head coach. But, man, I could totally see this game come down to like 1 or 2 points at the last minute and last second field goal decides
That's what I was
it.
going to say. I can totally see Utah winning on a walk-off field goal, though, at least.
And because of that reason, I'm going to go with Florida because I think that, I don't know, I think that something crazy is going to happen in this game.
Yeah.
Utah, yes, they were amazing last year. They're a little bit untested, unproven, and it's a different team this year. So,
Still,
week 1 in the Swamp, I'm giving the edge to Florida.
Fair. That is very true. It's a very tough environment to open in, and I don't know how many times they've had to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they played in the Rose Bowl, which is definitely a tough environment.
That was a great game.
And they lost by 3.
Yeah.
But yes, the Swamp is very difficult to play in. That's very fair. I think regardless, I like this line a lot.
It's a fun one.
It's really good because I think that it's fun to have that walk-off field goal potential. I think that either team could win this. I'm not trying to hate too much on Florida. I think that, they'll be okay. I don't think that they'll be a dumpster fire. They're certainly not going to be anywhere near, like, last in the SEC. But
No.
I think they're 7 versus unranked Florida. They're winning by 3.
All right. Next video, we might have to butt heads over that one and see who was proven right. But
This next one, though.
yeah.
Next one, also very fun matchup. Number 2, Ohio State playing number 5, Notre Dame. A top 5 matchup for week 1. This is in Columbus. But Ohio State favored by 16.5.
Yeah.
I will go ahead and say I had Notre Dame ranked as 5 as well. I think that they will I'm taking Notre Dame plus 16.5. We talked about a lot last time. Ohio State's offense is amazing. I love C.J. Stroud. Their defense, though, it's questionable. They were one of the worst defenses in the Big Ten.
No, yeah, you're
and
right.
that's why they didn't make the playoffs.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. This is a Notre Dame team. They are hungry. You know, they were betrayed by Brian Kelly. And I think that they are ready. They are ready to go. They are underrated. I know that they're always like sneaking into the playoffs and getting blown out at the 4 seed, but 16.5, that's too much. I think that starting a game up 16.5 points versus Ohio State, they got this.
Yeah, you know, I like Notre Dame a lot. I didn't have them as high as you did, but I'm actually really high on them this season. They got a really tough schedule, and I had it pre-picked before this. I had Notre Dame to cover this one, but I'm actually going to switch it right now and go with Ohio State.
Alrighty.
And literally the last time I bet on Ohio State last season, they burned me in the Michigan game. But
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
like, I'm ready to be burnt. I'm ready to be hurt again. So
ready to be hurt by C.J. Stroud once again.
I'm going Ohio State, even though I love the Irish.
All right, then we will include a clip of Ohio State's secondary just falling apart as Notre Dame just. I think Ohio State will win, but they're not winning by
Well,
that.
yeah, they're going to win.
Maybe we'll see that next.
The Wes Smith guarantee, but I don't know.
All right, you want to take us into the next
Yeah,
one?
here we go. We got 2 more games for you to wrap up with. Utah State at Alabama. Alabama, number 1 team in the country, favored by 40.5 in this one. I'm taking the Crimson Tide. Not much more to say
Don't
about
need
that.
to say much about that.
Utah State did already play a game this past weekend.
And
though,
they
but,
won.
Yeah. So
But-
we'll see. Is that enough to carry them into a
Look,
not a 41-point
I just
loss?
hope that Alabama give them a good paycheck. I hope that they got a good chunk of change to get put on the chopping block in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm also taking them at 40.5.
And last game we got here for you, we got Clemson, number 4 team in the country, at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. Clemson is favored by 21.5.
Yeah.
So this is a crazy pick for me, but I'm actually going to go with Georgia Tech here.
Really? Okay.
I think I don't know. 22 points is a handy lead for Georgia Tech. I think Clemson will either destroy them or they're going to have to sweat it out in Atlanta. This game is also on Monday of Labor Day, so it's a little bit after the weekend. But I'm weirdly enough, I have a strange feeling about this one. I'm going with the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
But you think that Clemson's going to win?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, I agree. It's interesting that you have like just before that the number 1 team and they're favored by 40.5, playing a cupcake team, and then Georgia Tech is terrible, but Clemson's only favored by 21.5. I agree. That's very interesting. Oh, that's tough because Clemson was hyped up last year, and they let us down. I could see it, but 21.5 in Atlanta on a Monday, I don't think that there's going to be enough energy there. I'm going to take Clemson.
I was
At
just about to
21.5.
say I'm great at convincing people, but I guess not.
I was on the cusp of it, but no, I'm going to stay true to it. I'm trusting the process. They are mad. They're going to be back. 21.5 in Atlanta.
Jeff Collins is on the hot seat, though. He could get off that hot seat with a win against Clemson week 1, though. That would be the highlight of the season for them.
Look, I mean, I would definitely say, I think it would be hilarious if Georgia Tech won. I mean, that would be insane if you lose in Atlanta on, Labor Day, but nah. I think that they're ready. They've had plenty of time to work out the issues they had. Yeah, I'm taking them at 21.5.
All right. Well, that concludes our week 1 top 25 picks against the spread. Which games are you guys most looking forward to? Which picks do you think we were way off on? Let us know below.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, we'll see you guys next week, and thanks for watching.